Hello students, we are going to take up a quick revision of sulfuric acid H2SO4. Children, this is king of chemical sulfuric acid. ठीक है, तो इसको मैन्युफैक्चर करते हैं थ्रू कॉन्टैक्ट प्रोसेस. आपके कोर्स में इसका मैन्युफैक्चरिंग है और बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है. सो फर्स्ट स्टेप where the chamber sulfur burner is there, जिसमें sulfur is converted to sulfur dioxide. Okay, and if अगर डायरेक्ट सल्फर नहीं लेते then they take iron sulfide. So FeS2 is there, it combines with 11 oxygen to form 2 molecules of Fe2O3 and 8 molecules of sulfur dioxide gas. Okay, so the first step is formation of sulfur dioxide gas. Step 2 is contact chamber. In the contact chamber, so here we get sulfur dioxide. In the contact chamber, the sulfur dioxide gas which is prepared is treated with oxygen gas. The reaction is reversible and you get sulfur trioxide gas. Right, the catalyst is vanadium pentoxide. Temperature is 450 to 500 degrees centigrade. Pressure is 1 to 2 atmospheres. Okay, now what happens? Almost 98% of sulfur dioxide is converted into sulfur trioxide. So this is the second step. Third step is sulfur trioxide is treated with sulfuric acid and you get oleum H2S2O7. This is also known as pyrosulfuric acid. Okay, this fourth step is pyrosulfuric acid is diluted. So H2S2O7 is treated with water and you get 2 molecules of sulfuric acid. Question is asked, why sulfur trioxide here is not converted into sulfuric acid directly by treating with water? So why? Because the reaction is explosive in nature, it will damage the apparatus. So we do not convert directly into sulfuric acid. In fact, we first convert it into pyrosulfuric acid or oleum and then it is diluted. Okay, is this clear? Then the question may be asked, what kind of impurities are there? So, or what is the function? Let's take up how we purify it. So the sulfur dioxide gas prepared is purified. Okay, so to purify we first pass it through a dust chamber. Right, this dusting tower has got steam, तो ऊपर से steam आती है, so this removes all the dust. Right, after this it is cooled and then there is a scrubbing tower. With the here in the scrubbing tower again the dust particles are removed, then the gases are dried. Then in case there are impurities of ferric arsenic oxide, so then there are plates where ferric hydroxide is placed. So these arsenic impurities which are present in the sulfur dioxide, they are removed. The water which is present in sulfur dioxide is removed through passing through concentrated sulfuric acid. Right, so this is how sulfur dioxide gas is purified. It is tested whether it is purified or not. The reason is the catalyst will not function if there is any impurity. So vanadium pentoxide will get poisoned if there is any impurity. Okay, so we first part is to prepare. The first part is to prepare sulfur dioxide. Second part is to purify the sulfur dioxide. Third part is to convert it into sulfur trioxide. Fourth part is to convert into oleum, and fifth is finally formation of sulfuric acid. Okay, children, you have to do these reactions properly. Okay, right now we take up the chemical properties. Sulfuric acid is oil like colorless, transparent, hygroscopic acid. Okay, now the question is asked, if you take acid, right, and you want to dilute this. So if you take acid and you add water, right, what will happen? There's more of acid and less water is coming. So this is going to, right, when water is added, there will be an explosion. So the reaction will be explosive in nature and it is going to spurt out. So in case of dilution, what do? We take lot of water. We take water and then we pour acid, right? So when we pour acid, so only little amount of acid is coming and there is more amount of water to absorb this heat. Hence what happens? There is no explosion. So remember the question is asked how to dilute. So to dilute, we add acid to water for dilution. This will be question. Okay. Then we talk about the chemical properties. Like any other acid, इसकी भी same properties होंगी. That means if you take any metal, suppose you take zinc metal and you treat this with sulfuric acid, zinc is lying above hydrogen, so hydrogen gas will be released and you will get salt, zinc, sulfur. Okay, if you take say zinc oxide or right, so sulfuric acid will combine and you will get what? Zinc sulfate, right, and you will get water. If you take any hydroxide, so zinc hydroxide with water, so acid and base will form salt and water, you will get zinc sulfate and water. Okay, is this clear? So like if you take any carbonate salt, so suppose you take sodium carbonate, this combines with sulfuric acid H2SO4, you will get H2CO3, right? So Na2CO3 plus H2CO3 is formed, which will break into water and carbon dioxide. Okay. Similarly, if you take sodium hydrogen carbonate, treat this with sulfuric acid, again it is going to form sodium sulfate plus H2CO3, which will break into water and carbon dioxide. अगर NaHCO3 की जगह आपने NaHSO3 ले लिया तो SC की जगह क्या ले आपने S, so you will get sulfur dioxide gas along with water and Na2SO4 will be formed. Okay, if you have taken Na2S plus H2SO4, then you will get Na2SO4 plus hydrogen sulfide. So children, ये वही reactions हैं, same reaction है जैसे हमने करे थे hydrochloric acid में. Okay, now the question is how will you prove that sulfuric acid is a non-volatile acid? Okay, so to prove this, what we can do is we can prepare hydrochloric acid and nitric acid with the help of hydrochloric acid. Okay, so how will you prove? By preparing these volatile acids. Okay, so these two volatiles are hydrochloric and nitric acid. Okay, so if we take NaCl, we treat this with sulfuric acid HHSO4. Temperature we keep below 200 degrees centigrade. We get NaHSO4 and hydrochloric acid. Okay, so it's a non-volatile acid, sulfuric, and you get a volatile acid. Okay, like if you take NaNO3 and treat this with HHSO4, temperature is below 200 degrees centigrade, you will get NaHSO4 plus HNO3, so you get nitric acid. Okay, since you are getting nitric acid and hydrochloric, this proves that sulfuric acid is a non-volatile acid. Next, how will you prove that sulfuric acid is an oxidizing agent? Okay, so if sulfuric acid combines with carbon, then carbon will be converted into carbon dioxide, you will get water and sulfur dioxide. Okay, to balance carbon with 2 sulfuric acid, likewise if we take sulfur and we treat this with 2 sulfuric acid, we will get sulfur dioxide, 3 molecules and 2 molecules of water. Is this clear? So these two reactions, carbon and sulfur with sulfuric acid, proves that sulfuric acid is an oxidizing agent. Is this clear? Next, we take up sulfuric acid as dehydrating agent. Dehydrating agent means it removes water. So if you take C12, H22O11, children, this is the formula of sucrose or sugar, chini ka formula. Okay, when you treat this with concentrated, remember children, dehydrating is only when it is concentrated. Otherwise, it is a sulfonating agent. Huh? So, concentrated sulfuric acid is there. So, it will remove water. So, you will get what? 12 carbon plus how many water? 11 water. Okay, right? Likewise, you can take copper sulfate blue color crystals, okay, and if you add concentrated sulfuric acid, so you will get copper sulfate, which is white in color, right, and water molecules will be released, okay, which will combine with sulfuric acid and you will get dilute sulfate. Okay, so concentrated will become dilute, and either you will get, if you get black color mass, so sucrose is white crystalline solid and you get black color mass of carbon. This proves that sulfuric acid concentrated is drying or dehydrating agent. Likewise, blue color copper sulfate will change to anhydrous white copper sulfate. Okay, so these two are there. There are other also. You can also take glucose. So if you take glucose, C6H12O6, right, quickly, C6H12O6 with concentrated sulfuric acid. How many carbon? You will get 6 carbon plus 6 water, right, with sulfuric acid. Okay, so glucose is white color solid and you will get black color mass. So this confirms that sulfuric acid concentrated is a dehydrating agent. Okay, now we talk about the chemical test. How will you know the acid is sulfuric acid? So if we first to know that it is sulfuric acid and it is concentrated, okay, so for concentrated what we can do is we can drop copper metal. So we take copper metal and we drop sulfuric acid, right, concentrated sulfuric acid and drop copper. You will get copper sulfate, sulfur dioxide and water vapor form. This sulfur dioxide has got a burning sulfur like smell and it is going to turn or potassium dichromate vapor orange to green. Okay, this is one test. Instead of this, if you take sodium chloride, then in that case sodium chloride plus H2SO4 will form, temperature is below 200 degrees centigrade. You get NHSO4 and HCl. You bring rod dipped in ammonia and you will get dense white fume. So this confirms the acid is concentrated, right? Again, further, if you want to confirm the acid is concentrated, then what you can do is you take blue color copper sulfate hydrated, right? And you'll get white color copper sulfate. Okay. Then, if you want to confirm that it is dilute, then you need to add barium chloride. So, when you add barium chloride in sulfuric acid, which is dilute, you will get barium sulfate thick, curdy, white precipitate with formation of HCl. Right, children? So, white curdy precipitate will confirm the presence of sulfuric acid. Is this clear, children? So, these are the reactions of sulfuric acid. Now, you have to do these sulfuric acid reactions properly, right? Balanced reactions कर लीजिएगा, अच्छे से practice कर लीजिएगा, and especially heading के साथ. Now, question ऐसे आ सकता है, prove that sulfuric acid is a non-volatile acid, or prove that sulfuric acid is a dehydrating acid. Okay, or prove sulfuric acid is an oxidizing acid or agent. और question अगर ऐसे नहीं आएगा तो they just write an equation. Suppose आपको ये वाली equation दे दिया, पूछा which property is being depicted, of sulfuric acid. So this is dehydrating. ठीक ठीक है. The question may be asked, how will you know the acid is dilute? Okay, how will you know that sulfuric acid is concentrated? राइट. तो ये सब रिएक्शन अच्छे से कर लीजिएगा, स्पेशली कॉन्टैक्ट फोर्सेस के एक एक स्टेप को अच्छे से कर लीजिएगा. राइट. ओके. सो थैंक यू. ऑल द बेस्ट. स्कोर वेल. गुड.